Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Chamber of the Wraith. My name is Brian, and today we're going to be taking a look at Megalon, one of the more unfortunate underdogs in this roster. Now, looking at his stats initially, you might not see that. Yes, he has the lowest defense of any monster we've seen so far at 3 out of 8, but he has a respectable 5 out of 8 attack, 6 out of 8 speed, and 5 out of 8 weapons. So what gives? Well, first, it is worth noting that Megalon has an extreme vulnerability to blunt attacks. Any blunt attacks he is so vulnerable to that not only does he take extra damage, he takes one extra step of knockback. So, normal blunt jabs will actually stagger Megalon pretty handily, and attacks that normally wouldn't launch Megalon would. And many of the blunt launchers can send Megalon flying. But he does have a unique benefit. He is the first monster in this game to have an immunity. Any electric type attacks he's just immune to, and he even heals from. So monsters like other Megalon, King Ghidorah, Mecha King Ghidorah, and Kiryu or Mecha Godzilla 3 cannot hurt him at range with their signature ranged weapons. They have to either go for alternate weapons or try and close the distance, which Megalon can exploit with his faster speed. So, let's get started and talk a little bit about what Megalon is capable of while we beat the snot out of Rodan. And as always, we are going to go to Seattle, because Seattle has been very nice to me with the power-ups. Megalon is kind of an up-close brawler type. Even his ranged weapon doesn't have particularly impressive range. But we're now fighting another monster with an extreme physical vulnerability, which is actually Rodan. He has an extreme vulnerability to sharp attacks, so bear that in mind as we attack, starting with punches. This basic punch strength, normally it doesn't knock down, but again it's on Rodan. It's just jab, jab, twisty. Put me down, put me down, put me down. Thank you. Forward and punch is a blunt uppercut with Megalon's horn. Pretty decent range. And you can block cancel it, but there's no sound to be made. So you don't necessarily know your cue right off the bat. Megalon also has a fairly fast get off me jab. Down, which is back and punch. Down and punch is a leaping drill attack that is really good for attacking opponents that are down on the ground. And it is deceptively active, as you can see there. You can actually potentially hit monsters upwards of like 20 frames after the attack has landed. But you're not gonna get it all of the time. His up punch is a leaping drill slam. That is a blunt attack. It has much more range than the drill stab. There you go. But it is worth noting. Megalon, his jump punch is a very easily abusable sharp attack. Which, if you've seen any of my Godzilla 2000 playthroughs, there was one where Megalon landed this on me 5 times in a row. Like, this is highly abusable if you can get the knockdown. Now let's talk about his signature ability, Dig. As soon as he goes underground, Megalon starts losing energy. By holding left trigger, you can actually move slightly faster. And if you push the grab input, you'll go for a grab. But you'll see Megalon is stunned if he misses. So how do you get out of the ground without being stunned? Because you also get stunned if you lose all of your energy. Just push punch. Just push punch, and you'll be A-okay. Now let's talk about his kick attacks. Megalon's kick string is a double blunt, and it can go into the drill backhand. That was friendly fire! Super X3, rude. Anyways, up and punch is actually the punch ender, interestingly. So you can just go for the punch ender really fast. Down and punch, owie, is a blunt stomp. Nothing to write home about. There we go. And forward kick is this leaping drop kick attack with a little bit of startup. Back and kick is an aerial version of a roundhouse that knocks down. Now, what's worth noting is Megalon's get-up attack is actually electric type. It is, in fact, technically a ranged wake-up option. So, against other Megalon that have an electric type immunity, this is actually a bad option. Whereas, or not bad, it's suboptimal. Whereas, for monsters weak to electric, see ya! Now let's talk about his kick throw, which is really painful. He drills the monster and then throws them about the same distance as his normal, about half the distance of his normal throw, which I have not shown because it's always just the same basic throw. Jumping kick is a leaping push kick, which pushes the monster back. Now, let's take a look at fierce attacks, which, on first impression, might look similar to... Come on. Get over here. Ow! Which might look similar to his running punch, but it is charged with power. First, let me get rage. Megalon's rage attack is Magnetic Vortex, which allows him to pull monsters in, if I can jump backwards, and launches the opponent with a devastating electric-type burst. Also, it's worth noting that Megalon's reversal is on Fierce. It's just a quick turnaround. That was forward Fierce, which is very active as evidenced by the electric energy pulsing over it. Your Fierce String goes into Energy Arc, which is a short-range projectile that does electric-type damage. This Whirligig style attack is back and fierce, knocking down, and if you need to break a blocked and briefly stun, down and fierce kicks up dirt, and if the opponent doesn't see it coming, this can stun them long enough to get a throw off. That was his fierce throw as well. Just grab and press fierce, and there you go. Okay, come back here. The only thing worth noting is that if the monster that you're pulling in does not make contact with Megalon, the rage art ends and you have to try again. Now, punch, punch, kick is the drop kick. Kick, 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 fierce is the drill attack, and we're gonna have to go for another round just to very quickly show off what punch, punch, fierce does, and fierce, fierce, punch, just to move things along.
Monsters,
come hither. Also the drill punch, and then ow! Okay, it's the horn uppercut if you do fierce, fierce punch. Now let's very quickly talk about ranged options. Outside of the rage attack, which I'm going to try and show it failing. Apparently Rodan is just a sadomasochist. Anyways, Megalon's primary ranged attack is Horn Lightning, where he charges up and fires a powerful blast of electric energy. The thing is that it doesn't have the greatest range in the game. But it isn't too bad otherwise. Now, if you tap the energy attack button, I'm going to have to wait to get 5 energy cells for this. It won't work on Rodan because Rodan also has an immunity, but napalm bombs. As you can see, Rodan is actually getting health from being hit by the napalm bombs, but all other monsters will be staggered in a toe stub animation, and will be left open to attack. You can launch up to 2 of these because they're 5 energy apiece. And there's nothing to write home about the energy weapons otherwise.
Megalon is one.
And with that, Megalon is done. Pretty speedy, if I say so myself. Next time, we're going to take a look at Rodan, the aerial maestro. Don't forget to be awesome, my friends, and I'll see you guys on the other side.